and how they can change the game, how they can save your immigration case. All right? And so stay tuned and welcome. And if you have questions as I'm talking, please feel free to submit your questions. I'll do my best to answer them right here, right now, live, as best as I can. All right? My question, as always, is do you want to get a green card? Do you want to file for citizenship? Do you want to file for asylum or a U visa or VAWA or some kind of immigration status? Because if so, go for it. And I'd love to help you with that. My firm is on a mission to win 10,000 immigration cases in the next 10 years. We would love for your case to be one of them. Okay? So what is happening? Like, we are winning cases, all right? There's a lot of craziness happening out in the world. Nevertheless, and even despite all the difficulties that are happening within immigration law right now, our office still is winning cases. And we are winning cases even when there are criminal records in the past, all right? But you got to know it's more difficult now than it used to be. And so my question to consider today is, what do you do if you are an immigrant and you have an immigration status, whatever that status might be, but you've been accused of a crime or you've been arrested? What do you do if you're an immigrant who's been accused of a crime or arrested? Well, let me tell you, all right? We have a client. We've actually had this issue come up multiple times. But recently, we have a client who was in valid DACA status, all right, maintaining his work permit through DACA, and who very recently was arrested and charged with a DUI. Okay? Now, this could be the same conversation for someone who's in green card status or who's in asylum status or has a visa or whatever. It's like, regardless of the immigration status, what do you do if you're arrested and charged with a crime? A DUI, domestic violence, drug possession, arrested, charged with something. Maybe you didn't do it. Maybe you're completely innocent, all right? Or maybe it was somebody else near you, but you were involved, and so the police just arrested everybody around. That happens, all right? And so what do you do if you're in that situation? That's the question, okay? And here's what I want to talk about, right? If you've been arrested, if you're in immigration status, if you're an immigrant, and you've been arrested by the police, before accepting any guilty plea and before moving forward with the criminal defense process, talk to an immigration lawyer to give you good advice about what you should do. One of the things that we do often for our clients is we write what's called a criminal consequences report. And imagine a, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 10 page report that your criminal lawyer can show to the judge or can show to the district attorney and say, hey, look, this would be the consequences, the immigration consequences, if my client takes this plea, if my client were convicted of this charge. Here's how that charge would affect my immigration case now. Here's how this charge would affect my immigration options for the future. That's what a criminal consequences report is about. All right? You want to explain the consequences of the crime on your immigration case if you were to accept that criminal charge. Does that make sense? All right? And sometimes we can write that report and we can suggest in that paperwork that our clients do not accept a guilty plea to charge A that you're facing, and instead accept a plea to some other charge, charge B or C or D, that might be safer for your immigration future. Imagine you're facing jail time, right? Imagine you're facing jail time, And imagine on one charge, you face maybe 30 days of jail time and they're going to deport you. And imagine on another charge, you face 35 days of jail time and you're eligible for a waiver, or you're eligible for a way to avoid deportation. Which would you choose? You want to think those things through. You want to think those things through before accepting that plea. Talk it through not just with a criminal offense attorney, talk it through with an immigration attorney. And that's really the point that I want to hammer home today. But that's one of the things that a criminal consequences report can do for our clients. It can save your ability to apply for or to get or to win immigration status in the future by allowing you to plea to a lower charge that doesn't destroy your immigration future. Okay? Hope that's clear. I hope that's helpful. If you're tuning in right now, thank you for tuning in and welcome. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm a certified specialist in immigration law. I'm also the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. The best advice, of course, is if you're facing an immigration case right now, and especially if you're facing an immigration case and criminal charges of some kind, don't go it alone. All right, get support, get a team behind you, get empowered. That's what this Empowered Immigrant Live is all about. And really get professional help so that you can maximize your chances of winning. Okay? That's what I got. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each of you. And now, what are your questions? Are there questions out there? And if there are questions, feel free to submit them, and I'll do my best to answer them right here, right now, live. All right? So, let's see. I don't see. Okay, keep ID sane. I see your question here. You say, if it was discharged during basic training Army, can I still use parole in place for my spouse? Oh, if I was discharged during basic training, can I still file parole in place for my spouse? I don't believe so. All right, it's been a while since I have looked up that issue. My belief, though, we would have to look at how you were discharged. All right, if it was a dishonorable discharge, then I know for a fact we can't use it. But if it wasn't a dishonorable discharge and you were discharged, but it was still during basic training, my belief is you have to have passed basic training in order to utilize parole in place. I might be incorrect about that. If you want to really go deep into that, we can do that research. Of course we can. And we could do that during a consultation or as part of our consultation process. Feel free to give us a call and we can see if that's a possibility for you. I don't know for sure whether or not it could work just right here, right now, but we could certainly look that up. All right? So hope that's useful. Let's see, baby girl, you say, how long is Army parole in place taking? I did fingerprints in March. You know, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that question. Interesting that we have two parole in place questions right here, right now. Our parole in place processes are taking forever, is the honest truth, and they don't publish how quickly or slowly their regular processing times are, but we've been seeing them take 2 years. All right, so it's a slow process. If you just got biometrics in March, I'm not surprised that you don't have a decision yet. All right, so let's see if there's other questions that are here. I'm not seeing them. I don't know if I've got like a technical difficulty here. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions. So let me just scroll through our chat here in TikTok. If you're here joining me on TikTok, hey, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Folks on Instagram, hello and welcome. If you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, uh, uh, let's see, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. We're live on all these channels right now. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I hope this is useful. I hope it's helpful. A couple of quick announcements here before we wrap up. On Thursday of this week, we're having our next client call. So if you are a client of my law firm, if you're a current client of Land or Home Immigration A.P.C., at 3 p.m. on Thursday of this week, we have our next October client call. And so feel free to join that video meeting, and we will discuss, we will discuss, answer your questions, and do that. Then I want to put this out there and just see if there is interest. This is a separate conversation. On Friday, the 7th of November, 11:30 to 12:30, we're going to have a lunch inside my office for immigrant business owners. All right? If you are an immigrant and if you own your own business, I have a lot of clients, right, who own their own businesses. I won't go in, trucking, construction, cleaning, HVAC. We have a taqueria owner. We have lots of other restaurant owners. We have several clients who are business owners, and I want to invite any immigrant who is a business owner into our office and just to talk business, not to talk about cases and not to talk about immigration law, but to talk about business. And I think that I can support our clients who are in that, who are doing that, who are entrepreneurs or business owners, more than I currently do. And so we're going to do this as a one-time lunch on Friday, November 7th. If you're interested in joining that, or if you're interested in learning more about it, please follow our channel and please stay tuned. We will be sending more information out about that. Another thing that I'm working on behind the scenes is I'm going to start offering an empowered immigrant course. And I'm not sure if there's going to be a ton of, I'm not sure how this will work. But I know that a lot of people are feeling very disempowered right now about immigration laws, about policy, about lots of different things. And I want to give more information and value to our clients and our potential clients about that. Last thing I want to say before wrapping up here is if you have questions right now about your case or about your situation, you can contact our office in a couple different ways. You could call us, of course, to schedule a consultation, but we're also going to put a form in the description of our video or in the chat that you could fill out, all right? And that'll ask you a few different details of your questions, and it's just another way to engage and to reach out if you would benefit from that, okay? So I think that's it for today. Pretty quiet, pretty quick episode. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate each of you. If this was useful, if this was helpful, please take a moment, go to our channel in YouTube, hit the subscribe button. When you do that, if you hit the notifications bell, you can receive a notification whenever we upload an additional video. Let's see here. Martin Yaran, I think I said that correctly. You said, how long are they taking to get an answer for I-290Bs? It depends on what you're appealing in the I-290B. All right, we've seen answers for I-290Bs within 60 to 90 days. We've seen other I-290Bs take a year, right? And so there's a wide variety. I-290B is another one that they don't publish the current processing times. And so it's a good question, Martin. And if you really want to know, you should talk to your lawyer who helped you with the I-290B, and they can look at their other cases that are similar to yours and maybe give you some better guidance. All right. And then Lopez Abraham, I see your question here. What can I apply for if I have an alien number since 2015, but I hadn't applied for anything? Well, how'd you get an A number? How'd you get an A number? And there are many ways that a person could get an A number, right? Maybe you were, so often it's you applied for asylum or you applied for a green card, or sometimes it's you were put into removal proceedings, or sometimes it's you were petitioned for as a beneficiary of something. And so you'd want to start there, figure out what happened in 2015, and what can you apply for may have something to do with that, and it may have nothing to do with that. Like you might need to do a consultation and figure out, could you apply for asylum? Could you apply for a U visa? Could you apply for, I don't know, are you married? Do you have children? Do you have a child who's over 21 who wants to petition for you? Were you ever petitioned in the past? Anyone in your family is in the U.S. military? Like we can go through all of the list to see if you have a case that you could apply for something, right? And if so, then we could be happy to do that. You know, we did a video recently on what are all of the immigration options, and part of your question here is what could I apply for? It's like, what are all the immigration options that even possibly could be available? And yes, we do that in our consultations, but I have a video that we recently did where we go through. You could search it on our YouTube channel. It's one of the most recent videos that we did on like what are all the options, and maybe that would be a useful one for you to watch. All right, folks, I think that those are all the questions that I've gotten here today. Hope it's useful. Hope it's helpful. I really appreciate each of you. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. Regardless of what process you're doing, don't go through it alone. Get help. Get a team behind you. Get empowered through the process. It'll maximize your chances of winning. That's what this is all about. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. That's it for today. We'll see you next time on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Make it a great day, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.